Good evening and welcome to the panel. Tonight it is Jimmy and I kicking off the show, and hopefully the others will join soon. I understand Dutchie's in some traffic. Bush may be working a little late, so here we are. Jimmy, how was your weekend, brother?
Dave, I painted all weekend. I hung out. I
Nice.
chilled. I smoked. I didn't bother anybody. I relaxed, because I never bother anybody anyway. I'm very.
I
I don't know. Are you a homebody? Are you a homebody? No, you're not a homebody, right?
actually am a homebody, but this Friday I went out and hung out with a good friend of mine for his birthday, man. So we had some cigars in a cigar lounge, and I drove all the way
Very
up north.
cool, man. Very cool.
Yeah, so we chilled out. I was the only girl too. It was kind of shocking. Yeah.
I don't know. Artists are kind of strange. We like to. We're constantly creating and building stuff, and if we're not, we become depressed. But yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happened this weekend. I saw a lot of, I see a lot of negative energy in the air with people and their attitude. Babe, in Washington D.C., here's the thing too: you go into a supermarket.
Yeah.
Do people look at you? Do people say hello? I'm working in Long Beach Island, and every time I walk into Wawa or I'm getting coffee or something, hey, how you doing? Hey, let me get that door for you. You go
Right.
into a New York supermarket, you look at somebody,
Man,
man. What are you looking at?
what are you
It's like,
looking at? Why are you
yeah.
looking at me?
So
Yeah.
Washington has the same situation, right?
DC's a little different. They still have that southern hospitality to them. But I haven't been up in the city of DC in probably about a year or two. So I'm down further south. So
Wow.
yeah, but we still have that southern hospitality. But boy, oh
That's
boy.
great because honestly, the more I'm going to South Jersey, the more I'm liking it. I'm talking about everybody. There was Spanish, black, white. There was everybody, even people, Russian people. Nobody had an attitude towards anybody.
That's what's up,
Everybody
man.
was friendly. Hey, let me get the door for you. Saying hello. Hey, sir. People who were walking by my shop. Hey, how you doing? I'm Wells. I live up the block. Hey, I couldn't believe it.
See?
But it's just I can't wait to get out of here. How's that?
Hey man. Well,
You know,
hopefully that hospitality starts to get shown to some of those migrants in Texas because apparently the governor is now stacking them on a bus again and sending them off to New York and DC and other major cities all over
yeah, we
again.
got 7,000, I think, so already.
Wow, I hear he put 10 more buses on the road not too long ago. So we shall see about that, huh?
Yeah, I know. Look, again, all right, you're a governor. You're going into Texas. You're the governor of a state. Guess what? I'm a border state. New York and Buffalo are a border state to Canada, but of course, we don't have migrants coming in from Canada.
I was like, Jimmy, it's not the same.
Come on,
It's
babe. I
not
was
the
saying
same.
that. you know,
It's not the same. But
but
hey,
I
man,
know it's not the same. So close your border off. Close your
I mean,
border
but how
off.
do you do that? You can look. We stole this land from the Mexicans. We don't really want to get started on that debate, man, because we stole this land from the Mexicans.
Listen, California was part of Mexico.
It was
Texas was.
all Mexico. California is still Mexico, and
We
I love
stole from
California.
the
I'm from
Indians.
California.
What about what we stole from the Indians,
Man, we've been
man?
stealing. Americans
We,
have been stealing
we
since day one.
guess what? You know what an Italian said to me when I was in Italy?
What do you say?
He said, "We're getting paid back from all their conquering and all the suffering they put on the earth. Now they have an influx of migrants and all types of people
Mm.
that are mooching off the land. And guess what? The one Roman, he was a Roman, true Roman guy, and he said, hey, we are paid back.
Mm.
But guess what? We're getting paid back.
Hey, everybody is. Except for
But
me. I ain't
and
got
not
my
again.
40 acres and a mule yet. I'm still waiting on that shit.
Yeah. Wow.
But look, check it
But I
out.
mean, if you declare a governor has the right to declare a state of emergency.
Yeah, but he
Uh,
doesn't have the right to ship those people off to other states.
no, what he's doing is wrong. But what he should be doing is arming and closing off the border and having proper applications being made.
But it's
And
not just the border. You think about it. Jim, have you ever been, you've been to Texas, right? Have
I've
you
been
ever
to
been to a
Texas,
border
yes,
town, though? Because I grew up in
yes,
California. I grew up in San Diego. So that's like right there on the border of
of
Mexico.
course.
Tijuana is like right there. Like we used to go to Tijuana at 18 to go party and get drunk before we
Is
were
it
legally.
dangerous to
Yes.
go to Tijuana?
When I was younger, it wasn't. It really wasn't. I mean, yeah, if you got caught up by the cops, you may have to slip somebody some money and
Wow.
and work it out that way. But for real, yeah, it's a lot. It's probably a lot more dangerous now, considering that people are suffering all over the world, and they're a little less fortunate to the U.S. and we're struggling here. Shit, the struggle is real here. So
Yes.
I can only imagine what they're going through down there, and Godspeed to those folks out there. But look, man,
Well,
let's talk
y-
about some good news, right? Biden is forgiving people up to $10,000 in student loans for student loan debts for people who make under $125,000 a year, which I think is applaudable. 10,000 ain't enough to cover my shit though, Biden. So you're gonna have to come a little higher than that, buddy.
he's not allowed. He can only do so much. Because he has to have a suppressed Republican agenda situation to agree with him. And he did want to eliminate all student loans, but honestly,
Take what I can get right now.
they're
I'll take
not
what I can get.
allowed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we have to be grateful and thankful. He is, I want to tell you, under the table, he's doing a lot of great things. There is a cure for cancer. He's trying to open that up, but
Okay.
he knows that Cuba already has it. And he will get this answered. That's what I think is going to be his greatest achievement before he leaves. I hope so. This country is based on capitalism, and it's disgraceful. And now they're doing their traditional move, saying, hey, you know what? We fucked up. Let the people pay for it. And that
Yeah.
situation is back again, like in the 70s, Reagan in the 80s, Oh, well, people forget. You know what, Malik? People forget really what happens in this country. It's like we have a switch. We forget about Pearl Harbor, 9/11, all the attacks. We still are naive.
Well,
As
the
power,
problem is we get complacent. As Americans, we get complacent, and that's why
of
they were
course, of
sneaking
course,
on us in
and that,
9/11 to begin with.
that's right. That's right. And we don't remember, when Reagan left office. Every Republican has left this country in a disaster. That's a fact. When Reagan left office, we were so far in debt, and the cap on credit cards was like 30%. And now you had Bush leaving, saying, hold on to your hats. We had a banking problem. This is Soros and all these people. Me and you can't do that because we don't have the money
Yeah.
behind us to do that. We don't have billions of dollars. If we did, we could control the destiny of millions of people.
Oh yeah, but we
Yeah,
don't have that power.
we don't have that power,
But the
but
sad part about it is these people are worried about exercising this type of power in controlling the country when they can't even control what's happening to their children.
that's
Over
right.
remember I was telling you about Fairfax County, which
Yeah.
is a county right outside of DC. It's one of the largest counties. It's one of the richest counties in the country. And in Fairfax County, over at Glasgow Middle School, the one of the school counselors was convicted of a solicitation of prostitution from a minor. So they're worried about the wrong shit.
Man, I got to be honest with you. That blows my mind, because when I was hearing that, I mean, and again, 1,000 times you see these sickos. What is that person like? I can't even bring my mind into thinking what's on their mind to actually do something so wacky and crazy,
But fuck them. Let's get to the point of the fact that they're not even doing like what is up with the background checks? How come this shit is not being
No,
caught?
because again, everything is back to the way it was in the 60s and the 70s.
Then what the
Everything.
fuck do I have a real ID for, Jimmy? Now we have these real IDs where they can track me from state to state to state to state, which means essentially they should be able to track my crime from state to state to state to state. And they've got perverts working in schools soliciting minors for prostitution.
Do you know that in Maryland and some states, I don't know if it's Maryland or what's Vermont, there's a couple of states that send letters. If you're a child molester or anything like that, or a rapist or anything, the state sends letters to every household within a 20-mile radius to
That's
let
what's
you
up.
know who these people are. Now, I'm going to look into that because I was curious why this doesn't go on in every state. And even if you do a background check on somebody, people lose their mind. They lose their character. You know, there's nothing but jealousy in the world, and
But
I'm an
that
addict.
can't be the first time that he's done this.
Yeah,
It can't. It can't. And
you can't.
it's sick. It's sick.
Somebody could be hidden. They could be the most intelligent person. They can go in for an interview. Oh, you're a great guy for the job, but deep down in the back of his head, this
He's a perv.
lunatic's. You know?
Yeah, he's a damn perv. Did you hear about the chief, the police chief in Uvalde?
No, what happened?
He got fired.
He got fired.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah. Now,
It's about fucking time.
this is another thing. Like, everybody's all pissed off. Like, again, about Trump. They've been asking Trump for a year to bring up, we're missing documents. So
Wait. Not Mar-a-Lago, Uvalde.
Yeah.
How we jump to Trump? Jimmy just itching to talk about Trump. Go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead.
No, but what I'm doing is I'm getting into why everything gets dragged out. They finally got rid of that police chief, but they should have got rid of him a long time ago.
They should have fired his punk ass as soon as
That's
they
what I'm
saw the
saying.
video,
But it lingers. Like, everything is. Oh, I don't know what we're going to look into it. Let's see. Hey, you know what, you motherfucker? Give me these. Pardon my expression. Give me these papers and shut the hell up and stop procrastinating with this crap. Hey, you know what? The guy. He should have got. Now they finally it wakes up.
Yeah,
it's got to
it's
go
like
through
months
this.
later. It feels like it's been so. It feels like it's been a long time since this horrible incident has happened.
Yeah,
and it took them that long, even after seeing the videos, even after hearing the testimony in the parents speaking on the news about how the parents had to go in and get their own gosh darn kids because these sorry scary ass bitches wouldn't take their ass in. Yeah, I called you scary bitches.
I don't think, again, and this is something that I believe in. I don't think that people should just get up, go to college, go to take some light course to become a policeman. I think that all military people that were in the military, should be hired as policemen.
Yeah, but sometimes, Jimmy, when they come back after being in war, they don't want to come back to that.
They don't want to come back to that.
They don't. They've done enough killing in their life. You know what I mean? And after a while, it just be taking a.
Yeah, I know. I talked to a lot of my friends that have been in. They said, they go, Jimmy, no matter what I do, I will always live those days.
Yeah, they come back to you every day.
They come back to you every day. And he had told me a story. He goes, here I am. And I asked him, why don't you try to become a policeman or a federal agent? He goes, the last thing I want to do is carry a gun. Those were his exact words. Yep. He goes, I have woken up with my wife in the middle of the night because who's sleeping and somebody's got to stay awake. And next minute you're getting shelled and bombed and you woke up. He goes, I would say a good 10, 20 times a month, I wake up in a nightmare, because he was shocked from that explosion. Yeah. And then all of a sudden gunfire and you can hear the guns are close. So it plays on you, and I get it. I understand.
Yeah, they don't want to come back and do that. That's just, and then they don't pay them enough. They don't pay these people enough to do this job. If you
that's the problem with this country,
then you wouldn't get the scum of the earth. Well, no, I'm not saying all cops are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm definitely blue.
No, it's not. But there's woke and everything.
That you get what you pay for. Let me just put it like that. And if you're only going to pay people pennies, then expect to get penny service.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people don't want to work today, because you're going to be a slave for some guy making a lot of money, and you're getting paid $600-700 a week. And by the time you get home, you got to get a second job because you can't pay your bills. Yeah, listen, we're in a screw. This shit was going down in the 70s. It's really getting confusing. It's getting hard. It's getting harder to make a living. Yeah, the gas is going down, or this is going down, man. Everything is out of control.
Oh, it's
Everything.
ridiculous.
The
It's
government
ridiculous.
is out of control. The police departments are out of control. There's no discipline. There's nobody. Everybody's afraid to do something. And again, I don't know. Texas was not a state that was really went through anything, with the defund the police type of thing.
No,
They,
no, no, because they got the Rangers. Texas
right.
are very proud. It's a proud state. If
Yeah,
you
it's a
come from
proud
Texas,
state.
you're a proud person.
Right. So, and you
And
respect
so
the law.
they have the Rangers, but then they also respect the rights that they get to carry their weapons as well.
That's right.
And so there's a
And
mutual respect between that.
but a lot of people, the majority of the people, do respect the law, but not in New York, not in Washington D.C. They don't respect the police.
I mean, why? Why should they?
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not even trying to be funny. If every other time you watch the news, somebody's getting shot, somebody's
Yeah,
getting
man.
killed, somebody's getting beat, how can I respect it? Like who and what was that? And I can't even remember the Roman or the Latin way of saying it, but who guards the guards? Who's
There was
watching the
no
watchmen?
guards in Rome. There was no guards on the guards.
Yeah. Who's watching the watchmen? And there's
Listen,
nobody
they're
watching
all
the
do.
watchmen.
Who the hell knows what a lot of cops do and people do behind the scenes? I know detectives that have caught murderers, and the father was rich. To tell you a story, here's a story about a detective I know, and this is what goes on: corruption. When I had a situation with a cop, I was doing work for a cop. The guy threatened me,
I got like 5 drinks tonight, y'all. Keep
and
going.
I went. Oh, enjoy. I went to the IAD and I reported him. But the shit that goes on, because you give a guy a badge and a gun, they think that they are the rulers of the world. And you know what? A cop is a peacemaker. There's one rule that a peacemaker does. He's not a juror and he's not an executioner. I just saw that poor kid who ran away, and those 60 shots, all those cops were firing into him. So people go like this: well, what would you have done? If the guy was so bad, I have a taser. But what crime did he really commit? Did he commit a murder? I said, what about shooting a guy in the leg or an ankle to
The
stop him from
problem
running?
is when you shoot a man in the back, it
What
shows
did you remember?
cowardice.
Yeah, did you remember that poor black man that ran away, and that cop shot him in the back? He was, you know what? He had a suspended license. The guy was scared. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? I
A
don't blame him.
suspended freaking license and he lost his life.
And they blew him away. He was running away.
Jimmy,
He was scared. This shit has to stop.
Jimmy, you gonna give me the cussing and hollering on the show. You gonna give me the cussing and hollering. Hold
Yeah,
up. You gonna get me excited. You gonna get me real excited. Hold up. I can't get that excited right now. We gonna have to calm down a little bit. Yeah, because I'm gonna have to start saying some stuff I ain't supposed to be saying, and it's gonna get
I
crazy.
know.
Gonna get
I
shut
know. It
off.
gets you angry. It makes you angry, right?
It does. But how mad do you think Wendy Williams was? You see how I slipped the top?
What? Hey, listen.
When she found out her son spent $100,000 on her MS.
Man, he must have been around a lot of women with a tie around his head.
How you spend 100? They had to pause her card because he was spending so much damn money. They had to pause her card. And come to find out the bro's actually having financial problems. I didn't even realize she wasn't even on the Wendy Williams show no
Well,
more.
listen. Let me say. What would you do? What would you do to your kid?
I'd have whooped that ass, man. I'd have whooped that ass. $100,000? $100,000? I'd have got $100,000 of an ass whooping out of that mug. I promise you I would have. Something would have had to give. And we would have returned a whole bunch of shit.
Listen, he would have been the slave for the rest of my life, man. He would have been my slave.
Yeah, man.
I don't get the radicalism, I know my daughter, she's a little spoiled. Yeah, okay, daddy,
How do you spend $100,000?
But you're not talking about a couple of $100. You're talking about a lot
Even
of
a
money.
couple of grand. Let's say, okay, boom, you went and bought a nice bag. Okay, you got a nice bag. That's cool.
Okay.
But
What did Wendy
$100,000?
Williams say when she got that phone call? Yes, Mrs. Williams, I just want to report that you have $100,000 charges on your card. We stopped it. What?
Yeah. Or if it were her son and they said, well, such and such, I don't know him.
I said, I hope that boy bought a used Lamborghini, because if he wasted a lot of that money, boy, forget it.
She probably got the call. Was like, who? I don't even know.
Now,
I
Wendy
reverse
Williams
all
is,
that.
you ain't kidding, man.
I'll pick him up in jail. Just send him home.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, the Wendy Williams show is still on, right?
I think it is. I haven't watched it in so long. I'll have
Yeah,
to
because you know why? They changed her timeline, and I think she's like now at 9 o'clock every day or 10 o'clock in the morning.
Well, is she still hosting?
I don't know.
Because I've been seeing a lot of guest hosts. I haven't seen her in a minute.
Wow. You know, I got to tell you something. Who the hell knows what goes on behind closed doors? But if that woman ain't making the money that she was making when she was really prime time.
Look, anybody spending $100,000 on a shopping spree nowadays ought to be ashamed of themselves, considering how much everything costs.
Yeah.
I used to waste $100,000. How do you have $100,000 just to throw away? You don't. You don't. Nobody does, honey. Nobody does. You living beyond your means. That's your mama money.
That's right.
Put that back and stop acting like you brand new, because you ain't. You living off your mama?
Yeah.
I ain't never heard of you except for through your mama.
Right.
So you shouldn't be spending her money like that. Go get a job, young man.
That's right.
Together. And how you doing, Wendy? So you hear about Kobe Bryant, right? So I guess the pictures that were taken by the LAPD, like right after the accident that they released, Vanessa Williams sued them for, and she got paid.
Wow.
Yeah, jury gave her a couple of $1 million. I can't remember the exact number.
Is that
Like
unbelievable?
10, 13, something like that. I know I saw a 3 in there somewhere.
Wow.
But she still got all that money. And she's already worth so much money.
It's unbelievable.
And California broke. So, you know, that's why I'm kind of feeling bad about LA County being sued, because California ain't got no money to give you. I understand it was disrespectful. And I understand that the statement was made, but like, could you just write that off and let California keep their money? 15 million. She got 15 million. Yeah, let California keep that money. Girl, you got enough money. You don't need that money.
No, yeah, no. This is what I mean, man. It's greed, you know. It's just. Do you know that if me and you had $1 million each, we could retire and you could have an amazing life with $1 million? And I can show you how you could put that in a CD, half of it in a CD.
And just live.
You just enjoy. You want to go away? You want to fly first? No problem.
Yeah.
But people, you know, when you start getting into the millions and they become greedy and they want more millions, and, you know, and then it becomes, you know, keeping up with the Joneses and stuff. Listen, we're out of control. We're out of control what we pay ball players. We're out of control with people that get up and entertain us and sing and play and make. I mean, Rammstein, I don't know if you ever heard of the band Rammstein. They made, in the last 10 years, almost $1 billion. Just think about that. The revenue. Rammstein, the German band. Did you ever hear of them?
No, but I'm about to listen to them if they millions.
Listen, I don't know if you like hard rock. I don't know if you like hard rock.
I like any music that can make billions of dollars.
Listen, Rammstein is an unbelievable band. They made a decision in 1993, are we going to sing in English or are we going to sing in German? So they decided to sing in German. So I got to tell you, you know, they're an They play in Moscow, they play in Belgium, they play all over the world, constantly touring and touring and touring.
Okay.
They spent more on fireworks and stuff like that, but the band is I think they're very entertaining, and it's repetitive music. As a musician, it's not really like, you know, but it really is good, you know. But you know, even he said, the main singer said, who are we to deserve this kind of money? You know, why? What, you know, you say to yourself, you have a nurse that has to get a second job because she can't pay her bills. Those are the people we should be taking care of and paying.
Yeah.
You know, that,
and I'm not mad at her for suing. I understand that she had to sue in order to make a statement, because they shouldn't be sharing, like, you know, those were some horrifying videos, and for her to find out, if that's the way she found out that her husband was passing, you know, via videos from a helicopter, is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But But you got money, Vanessa. Go on, let LA keep that money. Go and donate that back to the city so they can do something big for the city, man. Because you know those people need the money. The city needs the money. Um, the state needs the money. Shit.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
how about that?
Right now, California and Vegas are in big trouble.
Oh yeah, in huge trouble. I don't know how California's going to stay aboard.
Yep.
I really don't. And the way that the power grid is set up and how they're borrowing power from Arizona, and they've been doing that from Arizona and Las Vegas
I know.
for years and years
For
and years.
years and years. Yeah. And you know
It,
what? I don't see how that is going to change, but it's just the whole state in a whole with the fires and the water. They have. I mean, have you seen Lake Mead and
oh
everything? It's like they're seeing sunken ships
yeah,
that they
yes,
haven't seen in years, and
yeah,
now we're in. We're going to be going into a desalinization situation like Aruba.
yeah.
Aruba has no fresh water whatsoever. They desalinize the salt water. You can go to Baby Beach and see the plant. But, people say, Jim, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to be opening up desalinization plants because they're going to have no choice. The water, my friend that lives in Palo Cielo, he said that he goes, we have now a water bill. If you can't water your lawn, you can't do
Yeah,
this. You can only do this once a week.
yeah.
It's really like so strict everything right now, and yeah, the state itself is heading into bankruptcy.
Oh, the state's already bankrupt.
Oh, they already are.
Yeah, California's not just fun and bitches no more.
Yeah, they have no.
California's not weed, fun, and bitches. It is some serious stuff going out there. People can't afford to live. And what people don't realize is that there are very segmented pockets of people who have money. Like it's like in San Francisco, yes, you'll find a population that has money. But between San Francisco and San Jose or San Francisco and San Diego or San
Right, right.
Francisco and LA, there is nothing but farming towns in between. I mean, there's a couple of big cities in between, but for the most part, California is an agricultural farming state.
Yeah, on the east side towards on the east side of Sacramento, it's
It's
all
all farming.
farmlands. It's all
All of it's farming. Every
you know.
California is farming up to down, all the way up and all the way down.
Well,
It's
that's what
just
actually that and weed is holding the state together.
that's
But
it.
that's if it wasn't for the agriculture they had, they would be
But
in
they
big
still
trouble.
ain't got no money. The state still has no money.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? They spend. They overspend. They have too much. They have too much control, like wasteful jobs. And that's what happens with the government. We take too many things for granted. We spend too much money on stupid things.
But I
And
don't think California is that way. I think that I think that what people don't realize is maybe 5% of those people, 5% of the state are like super rich, and
yeah,
everybody else is fucking struggling.
yeah,
And that's what they do. So it's yes, you see the videos, you see everybody chilling and having a great time in LA, and but remember that there are certain California is probably about 5 major cities,
well,
and then outside of that, all that last, and we are equal to, if not just a little smaller or just a little bit larger than Texas in
yeah,
state mass. All of that is agriculture.
yeah, yeah. California is a big producer and a big distributor of a lot of food. In this country, especially strawberries, man, and certain fruits. Mangoes, and not so much mangoes, but strawberry farms are big in California. Lettuce farms are big in California. But I don't know, man. We're heading down a crazy path. I don't know. God forbid. I hope this. I think we're in a recession, but I don't know. In New York, everybody's busy. Everybody's busy. Everybody's spending money. Everybody's fixing their houses. Home Depot and Lowe's are packed.
You
And
have
do you
to.
want to
Oh
know
yeah.
something? Getting on the subject, I want to tell you, if one thing that we should be boycotting this country, that's Lowe's and Home Depot, because they're price fixing all this crap. Plywood that was $30 is now $100. They're price gouging us to death. I went in
But
to buy
everybody,
a.
but well, now Jimmy, I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's just them though. And the reason I say that is because I want okay, so I've got a friend that works concrete, right?
Yeah.
and I want to get a concrete slab or a concrete patio put in my backyard because I want to put my she shed out there so I can go ahead and smoke my weed back there in my she shed.
Right. Chill
There's
out.
no trees in the she shed, right?
Right.
That's the only reason I need a she shed is to smoke some weed. But
I love
I
she
say all
shed,
that to
man.
say that he's saying that the price of concrete is skyrocketing.
Yep.
So it's not just
Well, you
Lowe's and
used
Home
to get
Depot.
you.
It's just all the materials are through the roof now.
Well, a lot
And I'm not
again.
gonna say they ain't making a profit.
They're making a big profit.
Yeah.
Come on, again, who are the people that make up what goes down? The millionaires, the corporations run this country. Everybody thinks, oh, why can't the president do anything? Yeah, the president can sign a consecutive order ordering companies to not price gouge, or if you do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to federally tax you. Yeah, I mean,
But he's
who did
not.
that? Obama did that, and it worked great. But
Yeah,
honestly,
he only did that on certain things, though. I don't think he did that across the board, did he?
no, because again, when you have the Republican Congress fighting you, how do you get anything passed? We're so, what the problem is? We could not deal with a smart president. All the people want somebody like Trump, a dumbass, big mouth shooting idiot. We cannot deal with, once we get a person that's educated, Bill Clinton, educated, great president, Obama.
Yeah, but I mean, Bill Clinton had his scandal. I mean, he was in the back blowing Monica
Yeah,
Lewinsky.
listen, you know
And
what I
I
know?
understand that has nothing to
I
do with the
listen. I
presidency.
know he was a bad boy, but he was a great president. He cared about everybody, man. He wanted to
I will
get.
say I voted for Bill Clinton, but then after I started reading the laws and stuff that they put into place for against minorities, I gotta say that there were some things I was questioning about him.
Well, I got to
I
tell
mean,
you,
even Biden called me a super predator. So
hey, Biden ain't doing a bad job. You know,
I
eh,
I gotta say under Biden, my gas has gone up. I'm just looking at how my pockets is feeling, and my pockets is kind of flat, not fat.
yeah, yeah.
They're really flat right now. They really are,
You know,
and it's a struggle with everything. I mean, last year I was high on the lamb, and I'm not gonna say it was Trump's fault. Maybe I just had a little more money in the bank, but right now my pockets is hurting, and I think it's a combination because I think that we don't have necessarily. Look, I like balance. I like balance, and I like to see everybody's point of view. That's why I vote independent. I don't vote Republican or Democrat all the way either way. I
right.
vote very independent because I'm
I'm an
going to vote
independent
for
too.
whoever's going to do what the
Yeah,
fuck
I
I
mean,
need
I've
them
been
to
a
do.
moderate. I've been a moderate my whole life. Actually, at one time when Lincoln was president, there used to be a thing called the Realistic Party.
Yeah.
Now that was devoured between the Democrats and the Republicans fighting over the exchange in the government,
But
but
they knocked everybody out. They knocked out everybody.
they knocked everybody out.
Yeah.
And
And so
now,
now we have these last, but for a long time, black folks were Republican.
yes, and there was a good reason why. There was a good reason why, but I
We
have to
just
be
shift
honest
where
with
the
you.
wind blows us.
Yeah, but I have to say not now, because right now the Republicans want to take. I mean, there's a big scandal with Graham going on in Georgia, is fighting people that they can't. Who the hell are these people? This country is derived on every single person being able to vote, but they are actually saying that people cannot vote.
They are saying, look, Jimmy.
Come on,
So
man.
I'm going to say this from a perspective of being a person of color. We live in two very different worlds. You know what I mean? Like you've got a different filter on than I have. And
Of
so my
course.
filter and it's just what it is. It's just the way that the world is set up. And then
That's right.
but I mean you compared to somebody else, they've got a different filter on than you have. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
let's say like somebody who's not necessarily Italian. Let's say somebody that is I don't know, Scottish or something like that. They may come over and have an attitude against you for no fucking reason. But
Well, Italians have got a lot of. I
pride
mean,
from what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, Italians have been discriminated against since they came to this country.
yeah.
And, they were even more discriminated against than the Mexican people that came into this country. And, it really is, it's a crime that we do have this, but you're right,
And it's a
I
shame.
could,
It's a damn shame.
yeah. And I want to tell you, I was building a restaurant in 2008 and Obama just got elected.
Okay.
And here I am, I'm saying, well, how do you know so much about Obama? I said, because I study when you have somebody running for president and you study about that person, he did some remarkable things and he's not a stupid person at all. But the guy goes, this man goes to me, he goes, well, how come he only talks about his black side? And he's half white. I said, because nobody ever discriminated against his white side.
No,
He
they
only
didn't.
had discrimination against his black side. So that's what he's defending.
Yeah.
And I said, and how do you know? Are you a black person? No, you walk out of here and there is a subjective privilege. There is.
There
And
is.
I don't care
I mean,
what
you
anybody
get pulled
says.
over. If you get pulled over, you're thinking a whole different ball game
You
than
better
if
believe it.
I get pulled over. I'm hoping I'm gonna make it home.
That,
I'm
and
scared for my life.
a black friend of mine was in the car with me and we got pulled over. One of my lights was out. My blinker, that's my left blinker light was out. Do you know? He goes, Jim, should I put my hand? He went, should I put my hands on the dash? I'm like, brother, relax, man. He goes,
No,
no,
he should have put his hands on the dash.
and I want to
They
tell
should have
you
left him
something.
there.
Do you want to know something? I put my hands on my steering wheel and he put his hands on his dash.
Yes.
And the officer, of course, was respectful, didn't say nothing, didn't ask him anything. But as I'm driving away, I said, Rod, man, I said, what happened? He goes, Jimmy, you don't know, man. He goes, I got pulled over. They dragged me out of my car. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, what do you got in the car? Not, do you have anything in the car? What do you have in the
They
car?
already make an assumption.
Exactly.
So you
So
have
I
weapons
knew.
or anything
Now
like
this
that in
was
the vehicle?
Yep,
No, not illegal.
that's right. And this was a few years ago. And it's something breached in my mind. And I said to myself, I don't realize that because I'm not getting subjected to that.
No.
And I came down to that. It hit me like a prism. I was like, my God, man, that was serious. And that is terrible. And I called my friend Rod. I said, Rod, after that day, man, I thought about your reaction. And he goes, yeah, Jimmy. He goes, he said this, your reaction from a policeman is different than what the reaction I get.
It is
And I
definitely different.
realized that. I saw that, and that bothers me. That bothers me because
But how do
why?
you change the perception, Jimmy? I've lived under, and I'm going to tell you the guys on the show, I've lived under a microscope my entire life. And not because I wanted to be under a microscope. If I walk into a store, people automatically assume I'm going to steal something out their little
Isn't
funky.
that
I
unbelievable?
don't want shit out your goddamn store unless it's Tiffany, bitch.
Yeah,
But like they automatically assume when I walk in the door. I grew up in San Diego, right? So in California, there are a lot of stores that are run by Asian people or people of Asian culture.
right.
And they will follow you around the store. And they ain't got nothing in the store over $100. Why are you
And they're
following
following
me
you in the store.
around the store for something and you don't have anything over $100?
You
I mean,
know,
and this is the type of life that you grow up with as a child. Now, not to say that crimes haven't been committed in order to have people be cautious.
right.
I understand that if there's a repetitive act, but look, if you put a store in a black neighborhood, black kids are gonna steal out your fucking store. Because if you put a store in a white neighborhood, white kids are gonna steal out your fucking store.
That's right.
It doesn't matter where you have
It
that
doesn't
store
matter.
at. It's just, but you can't take that and say, oh, because black kids stole out of my store and I own a store and I'm of
Right,
Asian
right,
descent and I own a store in a black neighborhood.
right.
Now I have to think that everywhere I go, black people are going to try to hurt me. I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to get hurt.
How bizarre is this? I live in a mixed neighborhood, and when I go shopping, my supermarket is Spanish people, black women. I'm very courteous.
Oh yeah.
Somebody's in the hallway. Oh no, ma'am, I'm sorry. Then they would ask me a question, and I would talk. Oh yeah, listen, I recommend. Do you recommend? I recommend this. Definitely don't buy this. This is not good. Oh, thank you so much. Very pleasant. And I
And I
love the
live like
mixed neighborhood because that's how it should be. I
and I
don't
live in a
look at
mixed
that.
neighborhood now, and fortunately, I'm able to have that. But it still is. If people find out I have a degree, they're in fucking shock.
It's unbelievable, man.
I have a master's. Oh my god, how'd you do that? Who the fuck did you rob? And to come to find out that I'm married to a guy with two masters, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's bizarre, man. I'm a college dropout. I dropped out because I was going to study architecture. I studied natural landscaping, but of course,
But you don't need the piece of paper as much as I do.
yeah, but you cavitate to what you're into.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest with you. Yeah, that perception is had that person. How
That
you have
perception
a
is
master's degree?
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange, man.
Yeah. And the sad part about it is the perception is at the end of the day, that piece of paper is needed for me to even be able to be considered
Right,
to walk into the room. Like if I
right.
don't have that piece of paper, I'm not even getting a call. Without that piece of paper, I'm not getting invited into the room.
That's
But without that piece of paper, I've seen people that look different than me walk in the room and get a job like that and don't even have the same qualifications I do.
it's unbelievable.
It's very unbelievable. It's very unbelievable.
It really it really bothers me. When I was doing my movie and I met Mook to God 12 years. I can't believe it. But when we
He's
were
just
doing
been a
the
great.
movie, I fell in love with Mook the day I met him.
He's got such a sweet disposition,
But I
doesn't he?
never looked at Mook. I only looked at Mook as an individual and a beautiful human being. I never judged him on anything, especially his color or anything like that.
All
And I
you were
wanted,
supposed. Yeah, go ahead.
Joe Namath, the football player, the
Yes.
football. Okay, Joe Namath was going to Alabama University when that governor stopped those two.
Oh yeah, the kids from going to school.
That's right. And I
Yeah.
want to tell you, he was just on TV and I watched him and he went. Now, he grew up in Pittsburgh. So most of his friends were black guys. And he said, these were my buddies. He goes, these were my buddies. And here I go to Alabama. They give me a scholarship. And he was there watching that. He said to me, you mean they're not letting them in because of the color of their skin?
But not yeah.
He wanted to leave Alabama. He was going to the coach and the staff and saying, look, I have another college I want to go to. I got plenty of offers. I am not staying in an institution like this. The coach said, Joe, stay here. Please trust me. Things are changing. And the next minute, that Alabama coach was bringing in black players.
That's what's up.
And it was like the crowd was throwing things at these people, and that's how bad it
Until they
was.
started winning for him, huh?
And then all of a sudden, hey, listen, who are the greatest running backs in the world? Who are the Sanders from Detroit, Bernie Sanders, the greatest running back ever?
Exactly.
And yeah, and these guys, Walter Payton.
Yeah.
Now, I never saw any white guy ever anywhere come close to a running back. They have a natural ability, natural talent. And I always admired that, And people say, oh, there's a lot of black people in football. I said, yeah, because they're the better players. They're more agile, they're more athletic than white people. Is there something wrong with saying that? I was discriminated against and hated. Oh, so what are you? I'm like, I ain't nothing, bro. I'm telling the truth. These are badass son of a bitches. These guys are badasses. You can't say somebody's great.
Yeah, you can, man. But let's put it into perspective for the rest of the people out there and look at the fact that there are only a small number of people that ever really make it into the NFL and the NBA. It's like a percentage, a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. You know what I mean? So it's only like 0.2% of the world is ever going to make it to play in the NBA or on the NFL football field. And
That's
so
right.
these are just people that are just naturally athletic. And you see that a lot of these people are generational people as well. So you'll see like
Hey, listen.
a lot of people have their kids playing and their kids are doing awesome. Look at the Mannings. I mean, they're a prime example.
That's right. I did a lot of work for Justin Tuck from the New York Giants. He was a defensive lineman, and
Okay.
I loved his playing. And here I am. I'm working on his house, designed something really crazy. Got finished his master's degree after he played. Works for Goldman Sachs. One of the smartest guys I ever talked to. Very intelligent, very soft spoken. And one guy said an interrogatory thing. How do you feel? How do you feel working? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, what?
As long
What
as
are you,
it's check
I said, what are
cashing,
you talking about? I said, and he calls me up, asks me how I'm doing, how you doing,
yeah.
Justin? How's the new house? And because I'm very respectful, I'm very honorable. I love everybody. I care about everybody. I told people I have lost friends because of their mental displacement in life and how they react because like I said, listen, we call a spade a spade. We call the truth whatever the truth is. The truth always sets you free.
Yes,
And
it
if
has.
I hey look, the guy that I learned who inspired me to play guitar was Jimi Hendrix.
See, and he was a badass
He was
player.
a
May he
listen,
rest in peace.
a friend of
One of the
mine.
27 that died at 27, huh? Shame.
Yeah,
At
I
27.
saw him in 1969 because my uncle, I was 9 years old. My uncle took me to the Ritz because he was becoming a policeman. So he was actually babysitting me, but he had to go see his friend. He dragged me along. And
Oh,
I never but I don't know who I was listening to, but Jimi Hendrix was on stage playing on the Ritz. The, the
wow.
poor man, yeah. And so he died a year after that. He died a year later. But um, when I tell people who inspired me to play the guitar, oh, Jimi Hendrix, man. I mean, and I
Oh, I mean,
groove like
Jimi
a
Hendrix has inspired so many people. I mean,
oh
his
man,
guitar
yeah.
playing was just
But is
out of
there
this
something
world.
wrong? Now, I wasn't looking at his race or his color. I was looking at a human being and the amazing ability he was given to play an instrument like that and to be able to harmonize and play selective notes, and he's playing arpeggiated notes, and it's like it's insanity.
Yeah, it was
The guy
crazy.
was just so talented. He was playing rhythm and leads at the same time. And Jeff Beck said, I never listened to Jimi Hendrix because I never listened to a lot of guitar players, but when he started playing in England, I said I had to listen to him.
That
And
man was, oh my God, he was mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing.
And again, I played with a lot of musicians, mainly all black musicians because they're the best musicians. I'm sorry,
Well, they just play your type of music. Let's just put it like that. We don't want to
yeah,
discriminate.
look, fusion, yeah, but you know what? Um, you have to look at what we have become, all humans, how we segregate ourselves, how we push ourselves away. And I want to culturalize everybody into the same thing. I want people, like, people, oh, how do you talk to that Syrian guy? He's from Syria. Bro, do you know that a lot of Muslims don't believe in radical Muslim, so I'm going to hate them? I love everybody, man. Some of my best friends are from Syria. They own the store, and people go, how come you go shop in that store? I'm like, what are you talking about? When I go shop in a white store, the people have an attitude, and the women behind the counter are making faces. They're saying hello to me. Jim, do you need any help? It's a pleasure to see you. What's going on in this world? You know what I'm saying? Come on, Malik. You know what I mean? If I saw you in a store and oh, I'm sorry, I wouldn't look at, oh my God, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I don't have to. It's
No, I
just,
totally get it, man. And I totally
it,
get it. And speaking of that, you remember we were talking a little bit about this couple in Maryland, right? And
yeah,
how their home valuation. And so how how they had gone in and they had their house appraised. And the appraiser came up $300,000 less than when they sent in their white friend as
Right.
the owner of the house to have the house appraised. Isn't that crazy? 300 grand. 300 grand is the difference between our color
But
and that.
what is that telling you about those people that did that? What is that telling you?
That they're
That's
full of shit.
y-
And like, but the sad part about it is how many people have gotten gaffled like this before?
oh
Like,
yeah,
how many
forget it.
people have actually had their houses valued by a racist appraiser and they came back so low, and these people sold their houses for that low amount when they could have got $300,000 more? Like, that's just
Is there
crazy.
something undeserving to them that those people have to go through that? You go into a place, you're a professional person, be a professional person, professionally evaluated. This is what I call rubbing the chin syndrome.
Yeah.
It's when people start, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? When are we going to grow up and stop being clowns? Bill Maher, who I really have a lot of respect for, and he
Not
had,
Bill Nye the Science Guy, but Bill Maher.
yeah. Well, you know who I get a kick out of, and I forget the professor's name. He's got the scrubby hair sticking out. I think he's from Georgetown University. No, I'm not confusing him with Dyson. I forget his name. But when he has these guys like Degrassi, Degrassi,
Yeah.
the guy that runs the planetarium in New York, this guy is probably one of the smartest guys on the planet. I mean, he really is a scientist. I mean, but when you bring people to that degree, and most of the people that Bill Maher brings on there, he's not subjecting you to a racist situation. This has
Yeah.
nothing to do with Proud Boys. This is all the opposite. He's bringing on people, either they're black, white, Asian, Mexican, it makes no difference. He's bringing the most educated people on, answering the most amazing topics and trying to find realization in anything. And Bill
And
Maher
isn't that
went
what
like
we
this.
should do?
Bill Maher said one thing. He went like this. He goes, guess what about Trump and all these anti, whatever they are. He said, guess what? The world is filled with color,
Yeah.
and it's time to wake up.
It's
And
time
that,
to wake the fuck up.
yeah, it's time to, yeah, babe, you know what I'm saying? When the fuck is this asshole shit gonna stop? This is real. I'm sorry, pardon my expression if I say crazy words, but it really angers me and it pisses me off that me is subjected to this bullshit, because that's what it is.
But
We
you
have
know what,
not.
dude? I have to admit that right now I see it as the old heads that are doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because these millennials and these Gen Zers or whatever they're called now, these kids,
right.
newer generation, they've got friends all over the fucking world.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter what you look like. I met you on the internet.
no.
And as long as we can have a conversation and you're kind to me and I'm kind to you, we can be friends.
Hey, I lived in
And
South
I
Africa.
like the world moving that way. I think that the better place is coming for us fairly soon. I
Yeah,
really.
a lot of people, don't realize that no matter what we do, a lot of people are imprisoned. They're put in neighborhoods where they can't get out of.
Yeah.
Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves this segregation and this insanity. That's why Chicago had such an uproar. But guess what? Now that they're allowing all this movement, they're going into the south side of Chicago, they're redeveloping the areas, they're educating people.
But
There's
wait,
less.
let me ask you: with the redevelopment, does that mean regentrification and displacing of people? Because
No,
I've seen
no.
that happen in this DC. Like DC got newly developed, and it used to be Chocolate City, and now you're lucky to see a black person walking down the street.
Wow. No,
DC.
no.
So, have you ever been to DC? Did you ever go to
Yes,
DC? So you remember
yes.
when it was Chocolate City? I mean, DC was full of nothing but black folks.
Right.
Now there's probably like 10 of them in the whole city.
Are you
I'm
serious?
exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, there's probably like 10, maybe 15. The whole city, except for around Howard, and that's where all the black folks are.
Yeah.
But outside of that, as far as living, owning, and residing in the district, There's not that many black people living there anymore.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's changed. It's changed. Over near Anacostia. You know the Anacostia River?
Yeah,
It used to be rough over there.
yeah,
Anacostia is southeast. It was rough over there. Like, even I was like, I'm out of Cali and I'm hard ass, but I was still trying to lock a door, right?
right.
But like over in Anacostia is totally white.
That's unbelievable.
Totally white.
But
I need to go up Minnesota Avenue, but I'm gonna check that out when I next time I go up there. But outside of that, DC
but
is
let me
totally
ask you a
different.
question. So you mean, do you think they're redeveloping area and pushing people out?
Oh yeah, because people can't afford to buy the new places that they're
Yeah,
putting in
well, that's
there.
what happened in Brooklyn Heights.
Yeah, well, you
A
see
lot of the
Brooklyn.
yuppies
Brooklyn's a
came
prime
in.
example. Brooklyn is a prime example. Brooklyn used to be Flatbush all the way down, used to
Yeah,
be black. Now it's like trendy to live in Brooklyn. And
yeah,
so all the people that used to be there of color or cultural descent from outside of just the Caucasian,
that's right. Like
they're all
Greenpoint.
gone.
Yeah, Greenpoint is very mixed. I love Greenpoint because it's a very mixed neighborhood. But there is still segregation.
Yeah.
There's a black club where just black people going in, and then there was a white club where white people going in. But then when
It
you
might be
go,
the music style though, Jimmy. I ain't gonna say
no,
it.
it could, but I don't know. I don't know. It could be. But then if you go down South Greenpoint towards the bridge and stuff, it was
Uh-huh.
all mixed. There was
Okay.
black, white, Asian people, everybody in the cafes together. And I see a lot of the younger generation, Generation Z and the Generation X, or Generation Z rather, really are coming together as, I see a lot of mixed couples. I see a
Oh
lot.
yeah, there's a ton of that.
There's a ton of it, right?
And
But
that's beautiful. As
but
well.
again, you have people. Look, I was in a mixed relationship. My girlfriend was black. I met her family. They were all black. I was the only white guy there. But you know what? They didn't open up to me at first, but then all of a sudden they did. Because they saw I was a genuine person. And we start talking. And even when I was with Mukta and his brother Menno, we were talking about things that like what we would like to see.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome, but it was I see a lot of that happening now. I see a lot of people where there's black, white, Asian actors. Who's a sanitation guy, and they go out and they listen to live music.
And
And
I'm loving that. I'm loving that camaraderie. And it's just, we are just one world and we can intermix and we can intertwine. And there are so many different cultures that I like to learn about. And there's so many different
yeah,
people that probably
exactly,
need to learn
man,
about my damn culture. And so,
exactly. You
and
can always.
Rodney, what was his name? Who's the guy that got beat up? Rodney King? Can't we all just get along? I'm sorry, Jimmy.
It's okay, man.
But yeah, he was right, man.
Yeah,
He was right.
that's funny.
Oh Lord.
But
And on that note, go ahead, Jim. What you got for us?
It's been very hard for me because I lost my relationship because of the segregation that people cause. Nobody said once, hey, congratulations. Nobody wants to be happy for you. Wow, she's such a nice girl. Everything was just, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing over here? Why
So
you?
Jimmy, that impacted your relationship. Now I'm about to play psychiatrist. Hold up.
Yeah, yeah, it
Just
did.
be comfortable.
No, because she still, when she had her first child with another man, and
This
we
is
were, of
after you
course,
or before you?
no, this is after me.
Oh.
She's holding her baby, asking her mother, "Hey, have you heard from James? Have you heard from Gennaro? How's he doing?" Now you're holding your baby from another man, but you're asking how I'm doing. We wanted to get married, but
And
she
what
said.
happened?
It was because when Jim, we were drinking, we were hanging out at a party one time, and she heard a guy say, "Yeah, did you see Jimmy with that black girl?" And I'm like, I flipped out. I choked the guy. I had him by the throat, and I
Oh my
choked
God,
him.
Jim. Just because he called her a black girl? Like, I'm okay being called a black girl.
Yeah, but no. But listen, I got mad at him because he even said something like that.
And
What?
that
What do
made her
you?
uncomfortable enough to break
That
up
made
with
her
you?
feel uncomfortable. Then one time, I want to tell you, I almost got in trouble. The cops came and everything. She ran up to the store. We go to this Japanese fusion Chinese place when we lived in the city, and she forgot my wallet. I said, "Hey, babe, here's my wallet." I put it on the table, but she ran out without it. Now
Okay.
we're in there all the time. She calls me up hysterical crying. She goes, I said, Lisa, what's the matter? I run up there. She's right in front of the store. And the Chinese guy goes, he goes, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I didn't take my boyfriend's wallet. I ran out with it. But, you know, we're here every week. You know who, you
You
know,
might want
we,
to give that to her.
yeah. And he went like this. He goes, you know, I'm sick of you people.
Mm.
Now, watch. Now, I went in that restaurant when it was packed.
Wait,
And I
she
went,
didn't check them. She had to wait for you to get there.
no, she listen, she was you know, she got nervous because he embarrassed her in front of a bunch of people, so she wanted to get out. I don't get embarrassed. I
Yeah, me
walked in
either.
there and I went like this. Lisa, is that him? Now I said it so loud that everybody stopped eating and they paid attention to me, and I went like this. I said, excuse me, everybody. How you doing? How's the food? Good place, right? I said, you see this piece of shit here? I said, you having a good look at him? He goes, I'm in here 3 days a week. I must spend maybe $300-400 a week on this piece of crap. And my girlfriend comes in here because of her color. And guess what? People walked out and they said they're never coming back to this restaurant again. So my mission
Wow.
was completed. I said, this piece of shit said to my girlfriend, I'm sick of you people. Now, of course, there's a lot of black people in this place. They went up, and one guy goes, is that what the mother said? You piece of shit. And he got up. He goes, we're getting out of here. We're never coming back. Sir, please. No, there's no please here, you piece of crap. I said, I went off. The cops, the girl in the back must have called the cops. And I told the cops the story. Guess what? It was a black cop and an Asian cop.
Mm,
And you know what
mm,
the black cop said to him? He
mm.
said, hey, brother, he said, is this, I don't think this man's coming in here arguing you for a certain reason. He goes, if you say that, that's slander. I
It's
said,
offensive. It's
that
very
slander.
offensive.
He goes, the cop said the slander. This is the black officer, very nice guy, came out and talked to us. And he said, sir, you know, I seen you get upset. Don't let these people bother you. You guys just be happy and not let people get. I said, I'm sorry, it's not that easy. And
Wait,
she
he
goes,
said, "Don't let these people bother you." So who
yeah,
was that
don't
to bother
let
these
these
people?
people bother you.
Don't let these people get to you,
But
bro.
guess what? When he was the abuser, now he got abused. So karma came to him, you know, and
Amen.
that's what I believe. And I believe with that guy that made those people that made that house $300,000 less, karma's going to come to them. They're
Oh
going to
yeah,
they're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
they're
They're
going
gonna
to
get
pay
you.
for that because that's a crime. And
Actually,
honestly,
those people should be able to sue them for that. I mean, because they almost cost them 300 grand. Like I would sue. I would sue. I need you to pay me some money because
that's
you
right.
wasted my time. Yeah,
Because
they
how do you
deserve that.
evaluate a house 300,000 less than what it should be evaluated for? And
Exactly.
if you bring in another person, they're going to say no, the house is worth more 300,000 more than what this woman's appraising it for. Of course, what they do, they have their friends. I got a great house for you. Don't worry, I'll
Yeah,
hook you up.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get these people out of here. And
Yep.
those people. You know what
Those
I'm saying?
people
Because that's the shit that goes down that is so freaking
behind
bad.
closed doors that
That's
nobody.
right. Yeah,
So
let's do
black
this.
folks, if you selling the house, stage it with white pictures all over the place. Make them believe white folk live there, girl.
Yeah. And that's terrible, man.
It's a damn shame that you got to do that. But hey, if it cost me 300 grand, I probably would. I got to tell you, I
You
probably
ain't kidding, babe.
would. And on that note, I think we're about to say goodnight. So thank you for joining us, and peace out, Jimmy. Any last words?
Babe, I'll see you next week.
Sounds like a plan, man. You guys have a great evening, and for those watching later, thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Goodbye.
Later.